In October 2022, scientists mapped the very first prehistoric family tree. Researchers at the Max Planck Institute sequenced ancient DNA from 13 Neanderthals. These individuals died together exactly 54,000 years ago in Siberia. Their bones were found deep inside the Chagirskaya cave in the Altai Mountains. The tragic group included a father and his teenage daughter. There was also a young boy and an adult female among the dead. Excavators uncovered over 80 Neanderthal fossils alongside heavy stone tools. These specific weapons were used to hunt migrating bison across the plains. But the DNA hidden inside these bones revealed a desperate survival strategy. The genetic analysis exposed a stark contrast between the sexes. The men's Y chromosomes showed almost zero genetic diversity across the board. These male hunters were all very closely related to each other. Meanwhile, the mitochondrial DNA passed down from mothers was highly varied. This proved that females were actively migrating between different camps. These Neanderthals were trapped in isolated communities of just 10 to 20 people. Young females had to abandon their birth families completely to survive. They crossed the freezing Siberian steppe alone to find mates in other caves. This brutal journey was the only way to stave off severe inbreeding. A young Neanderthal woman walking away forever was a fragile biological gamble. She was leaving her only support system to join a cave of strangers. This disconnected social network left the entire species incredibly vulnerable. When the climate changed, they had no wider community to lean on. 20,000 years after Chagirskaya, early Homo sapiens tried something completely different. At the Sunghir burial site in Russia, a new social structure emerged. Around 34,000 years ago, early humans buried 4 males together. These graves were packed with 10,000 hand-carved mammoth ivory beads. Creating these intricate beads required a staggering investment of human labor. It took thousands of hours to carve and arrange them all. For decades, archaeologists assumed this lavish burial belonged to a royal dynasty. They thought these ancient men must be closely related kings or chiefs. But a 2017 genomic sequencing project turned that theory upside down. Evolutionary geneticist Martin Sikora led a massive study of these remains. His team at the Natural History Museum of Denmark analyzed the DNA. They proved none of these individuals were closer than second cousins. This unexpected genetic twist exposed a massive behavioral shift in early humans. 34,000 years ago, Homo sapiens were deliberately building massive social networks. They were connecting multiple distinct groups across huge geographical distances. This gave them an incredible advantage against the brutal Ice Age climate. A severe winter could wipe out a local hunting ground completely. A Neanderthal group of 15 people had no one to ask for help. They'd simply stay in their isolated cave and quietly starve to death. A Homo sapiens group faced the exact same brutal winter conditions, but they could rely on a vast web of in-laws and allies. This complex support system stretched all across the frozen Eurasian steppe. They'd moved to a neighboring camp and survived the bitter famine. The ultimate human survival technology wasn't the invention of the bow and arrow. It wasn't the mastery of fire or the creation of complex tools. It was the deliberate choice to make complete strangers into family. Our ancestors essentially invented the concept of the in-law to survive the cold. We didn't conquer the world because we were the strongest or the smartest. We survived because we were the only species to build families out of strangers.